been bad to us. We are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Well, howdy, folks. How are you? I've got myself down on the little screen tonight. Oh, try and bring myself up onto the bigger screen. Is there a bigger screen? There it is. That'll do. It'll be good for a start, at least. How are you, folks? Struggling along through the day. It's been a bloody chilly one in my part of the world, can I tell you? Didn't get quite as much achieved as I had hoped, but I got a little bit more achieved than maybe many thought I would. And I haven't even gone halfway through yet, can I just tell you? That'll make more sense as we get a little closer to what we're going to talk about tonight. First of all, though, it would be remiss of me to not mention this magnificent prize that we want you to win. $750, or if you're not up for $750, maybe a gram minted bar from Ainsley Bullion would suit you better. Yeah, it's slightly less value than $750, but probably likely to grow to a greater value than $750 if you hang on to it for a little while. So if you would like one of those, it's very easy to do. Go to that website, merch.vofhq.com, click on the Sanctuary, Donkey Sanctuary link, the Sanctuary 750 link, and it will take you straight to where you can spend $2 a ticket. How easy is that? $2 a ticket, a maximum of 20 tickets, and I think we've got about nearly 200 of them sold already in this draw. So jump in, folks. We want to give you some gold. And if we can't give you the gold, then hopefully we can give you the cash. $750, all good. Congratulations to our winner of draw number 4 who wants to remain anonymous. And thanks for your support. Really, really appreciate it. Before I jump into tonight's show, let's have a bit of a look here. What the? SCU. For those people that don't know, that's the Sunshine Coast University Hospital. And it's called SCU, S-C-H-U. So, Watler, I'm very sad to hear that you are there, and even sadder to hear what it's for. Waiting for a CT scan, hoping to get out tonight, but maybe they want you to stay. Mate, well, if they want you to stay, they want you to stay. But good luck with that. And SCU, I know, is a pretty good bloody hospital. So, you'll no doubt do pretty well there. Sandy, God love you. I guess there are bad days at the sanctuary, regardless. But that vet bill is going to be a huge one. A major operation to remove the eye out of Lily. Lily had a previous injury to that eye, and they've been doing everything possible they could to try and save the eye, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So the vet's going to be called in. It will be a big operation, and that means big money. And that's why your support to our lottery is so gratefully received and so urgently required, because the sanctuary needs funds, not just for food and treatment of animals, but big vet bills like this one. So if you can help us, by all means, please do. And Sandy, I know you and Baz will push through it, but it's just a shit. Really sad to hear that. Aussie Sue, God love your woman. How are you doing today? Something not so flash about your son Dale, I see. Back in hospital. This is he's going in for CT or other scans and whatnot, I think. 2 heart attacks so far. He's got something wrong with his pancreas. Had 2 jabs, unfortunately. So, yes, I hope our family's prayers can get behind your son Dale. And I hope he's able to, make a full recovery from whatever it is at the moment that is actually ailing him, Suze. Aussie Sue, of course, one of our magnificent moderators, Sunflower and the lovely Michelle Bradley Smith, others, and Vince. I keep forgetting Vince. He's also a moderator. So let me just have a bit of a glance. What else is in there today? 47. Dale's going to be turning 47 because I see that's further down. So, wow. 47 tomorrow and in hospital. Not a way you'd like to spend your day. Tony, I hope you are well, my friend. And Pete from Pinaroo is in the house. G'day, Jude. Nice to see you. And thank you for the prayers for Aussie Sue's son. Spazza, good to have you in, brother. Rosemary, nice to see you. New name for the chat. I don't think I've seen Rosemary in there before. And who else have I not seen in here before? The Black Sheep has joined us tonight. Got to love this man, folks. He's half dressing me tonight. This is the Black Sheep jacket, which is on top of the wind sheeter, which is on top of a thick shirt, which is on which Black Sheep supplied, blue shirt, and I got a t-shirt underneath that, and I am still friggin' cold. You'd think, with enough of the insulation that I have around me on my body, let alone the shit I drape all over it, you'd think I'd be warm enough. But anyway, doesn't seem to be working out that way. Okay, just having a bit of a glance. G'day, Ian. Seeing a few names that are popping up. Donna, nice to see you in. I think you were first in tonight, and I neglected to say that. G'day, Toxic. Nice to have you in, mate. Manny's in. Manny P. Haven't seen you for a little while, mate. And I think we're about there. Sunflower, God love you. And all the things that you do. Cold in Melbourne, Tony. Wow. Mate, it's August. What would you expect? Let's be serious. I mean, really. All right. Some of you may or may not have seen the attempt at a show that I did this morning, the Monday night show on a Tuesday morning. For whatever reason, there's a large gap in the middle of it, and there is a bit at the end which you may not have caught up on, where I mentioned a lot of what Avi has got up to recently. And I was a bit incensed about it, if I'm honest, because I don't think Avi is playing a fair game. I don't think Avi's playing, well, I think Avi's playing a lot of things, but fairly certainly isn't one of them. So he was pretty busy over the course of the last few days, and all on the back of last Friday, a gentleman went into a Bentley hairdresser. She asked him, where he came from. He said Israel. She threw him out, called him a baby killer. She may well have, been able to treat that a little bit differently. Certainly, she didn't have to cut his hair. But did she need to abuse him while putting him out the door? I don't know. Probably not. But be that as it may, that's how it happened. Now, this guy decided, for whatever reason, to go to Avi and complain about it. My first instinct was to say, is this a setup? Has somebody been in this shop before, heard this lady speak, and they decided to send, a la James O'Keefe, a person in undercover to try and figure all this out? I don't know that was completely the case, but it got the reaction that they needed, whatever happened, and Avi turned up. So I'm going to play a lot of what's happened here. You're going to see vision off across 2 days. The first day, and the first attempt, is Avi turning up at the Salon. Then we will go to what I assume is the next day, and or a day after, however long it took him to arrange this protest, and we'll go through it. So let's get into it, shall we?
She has booked me an appointment with the Salon so that I can try and talk to the owner and see what's going on and why she's done it. My producer's female, but from the website, I doubt they're going to assume my gender and worry that my name doesn't match my look. Where's Katrina?
Who are you?
Avi Mini from Rebel News. Are you Katrina?
I am.
How you doing?
Yeah, out of the business.
You had a client. I'm booked
Out
in.
of business.
You had a client here on Monday that you kicked out.
That's right. You can get out.
Why did you kick him out?
You can get out.
Why did you kick him out?
You know why? Out.
Why'd you kick him out?
Out. So
I'm booked in. You've got to give me my.
You are not booked in.
I'm booked in for 3:30.
What's your name?
My producer booked it.
Under what name? Okay, you're booked in under false pretenses. Get out.
Why are you saying that?
Because you're not here to have a haircut. You're here to hassle me.
No, I'm here to ask you why you kicked someone out when you found out they were Israeli. Why did you
They
do?
were a baby killer. Now fuck off. Fuck off. Excuse me.
Do you always ask people with ethnic accents where they come from?
You don't. Leave me a review.
Well, I think she's typical woke. She loves everyone, but she hate Israelis.
Do you always ask people with ethnic
Get out of
backgrounds?
my business.
Do you always ask people
Get
with
out
ethnic?
of my business.
Don't-
You're trespassing.
I need my deposit
You're
back. I need my
trespassing.
deposit back.
Right, you'll do it through the.
No, I would like my deposit back. I'll leave with my deposit back. You kick
Ouch.
somebody out. Do you know that's against the law to kick
It's
somebody?
not actually.
The
It's
Racial
not
Discrimination Act. You
No.
can't, based on nationality.
Israelis aren't a race.
Oof. Israelis aren't a race. So, I guess my first take from that is that Avi has stormed the store, barreled straight in under false pretenses. He admitted that his female assistant has booked the appointment. I don't know if she booked it in person or if she rang up on the phone. I'm assuming that she did it on the phone, but it could be wrong. He says he wants to get his deposit back. If the deposit was paid. Well, if it was paid on the phone, it would have been paid by card and it would be returned by card. If it was a cash deposit, then he probably has a right to get that cash deposit back, but she has every right to give it to him when she feels the urge to, not right there and then when he demands it, particularly after she had asked him 12 times to get out of her business. Now, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty confident that any business has the right to refuse service to anybody for practically any reason they like. Now, if the woman had said, I don't like the smell of you, or you're drunk, or you're a drug user, I don't want you in here, even if the guy wasn't, could have been thrown out. Businesses have the right to refuse service. Most of them have a sign up saying so. So if she wanted to refuse service, she maybe, admittedly, could have done it in a different way, but she chose not to. This obviously didn't give Avi enough meat for his show, so they went back, had a think about it, and a couple of days later...
There's a fucking part, no, there's a basic, shalom aleichem, there's a basic reality. The government, 4 days ago, has decided to announce their anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli, anti-Zionistic, anti-Jewish stance. They have announced it to the Australian public. They are supporting everything against the Jewish nation, against the Jewish people, against Zionism, against Israel, which is one and the same.
Did you hear that? Zionism and Israel are the same. There is no mention of Judaism. Zionism and Israel are the same. And the Lions of Zion managed to get out in front of that business as well that day. And I think I did. We might see a little bit of that later on. Although, actually, no, I think I gave up cutting it because this was making me sick. Watching the way Avi was working this up. All right. And we will get to, oh, shit, I've just moved my thing in a way I probably shouldn't have. All right. I've probably got it back to the right time. So I'll bring this back up. This old gentleman has a little bit more to say about what's going on.
And if the government, which are theoretically intellectuals, don't get their facts right and start being on the right side of morality and society, this country is kaput.
So this guy is saying that unless, we stand on the side of Zionism, the side of Israel, that this country's stuffed. Really? Really? You want Australians to become Zionists. And the Lions of Zion, who stood out the front and intimidated this woman and her business, I don't even know if she was inside that day, but what else could it be? A huge group of people turn up in front of a business to shout abuse at somebody. That's not protesting. They're doing exactly what Hitler did and the Germans did to the Jews in 1933, 34, 35, and 36. And towards 37 and 38, they started shooting them. Why is it okay for Avi and his crew of Zionists to go and intimidate people in their workplace? Why is it okay for Avi not to face any kind of punishment for refusing to leave a business? He trespassed on from, the second time the lady told him to get out. If I was the lady, I would have Avi charged with trespass. I wouldn't be at all surprised if she started having emotional issues. She might get PTSD from this. All sorts of interesting things could come out of this, Avi. You don't play it very well.
For Rebel News in Bentley, Victoria, where the Jewish community have gathered now to protest the hatred, the blind hatred we saw in this shop by the salon owner, the progressive, full of kindness salon owner who kicked out a customer simply for the crime of being Israeli.
So, simply for the crime of being Israeli. Once again, businesses can choose to serve or not serve anybody they like. Should she have chosen to do it the way she did? I wouldn't have, but that's the way she chose to do it. Does she deserve this kind of vilification? And I can tell you, it's a long way from over. A long way from over. This next little piece is pretty interesting. Avi has a bloke pointed out to him whose name I believe is James, who's standing across the road watching, but he's not participating in any way, shape or form. He's leaning up against a poster. Avi, like a flea to a dog, makes a beeline for him.
Your friend, do you condemn her behaviour?
I'm not going to comment to you, right? What?
Is today not payday for Centrelink?
I wouldn't know, mate. Right? Did you get your paycheck today?
What are you doing here?
Right? Just standing there, mate.
You go to pro-Palestinian. You're a pro-Palestinian protester. You've come to an event condemning a blatant act of anti-Semitism.
I'm just standing on a corner, mate.
You just happen to be here.
Just happen to be here.
How did it feel getting arrested that day?
Well, considering I got cleared, your guy got charged with assault and pled guilty, pretty good.
I don't even know what he's talking about, but it was pretty funny.
How true is that?
Well, no. So one of your guys who pushed me on that day got charged with assault.
One of my guys.
Right?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Right? People on your side of the rally, right?
Who do you mean, Jews?
Right? No, I'm a Jew, mate.
Mate, that card's gone.
What do you mean that card's gone?
Like you token anti-Israel Jews. Are you not sick of being used?
What do you mean? Right?
Come on, if you're going to be a token Jew, at least know your talking points.
I do know my talking points. Right? Anyway, I've had enough. Please leave me alone.
Mate, you've come here to an event condemning anti-Semitism. Why would you?
I think that's 2 or 3 times now he's been asked to leave him alone. Avi, leave me alone. Get out of my face. At least 3 times.
Mate, can you tell him to leave? Like, I'm happy to stay here, but can you get this guy to leave me alone?
He's trying to do the old snitching trick that I taught him last time we met.
At least Avi's starting to tell the truth. He does do snitching tricks. He does manipulate.
All right, please.
If you don't like it, you're welcome to leave. I'd
like you to leave my face now, Avi. Please leave.
Not going to happen.
Now, there's another 2 times he said, please leave.
Okay.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen, he says. Not going to leave you alone because Avi hasn't got what he's really looking for yet.
So what?
But he's about to.
Are most Jews Zionist? Are we admitting that?
We don't know that.
You don't know that?
We don't actually know that.
Are you pretending you're not in the very, very fringe minority? Is that what you're doing?
I think you have.
Are you welcome at any Jewish event except for Antifa Jews? Are you welcome at any real Jewish event ever? You're not, because you're not a real Jew. You're a capo. You're the ones that the Nazis used to perpetrate crimes against Jews. You're the ones that racist uses.
Get back. He kept waiting.
You don't go anywhere. No one's going anywhere. No. I'm fine. See, that's all it takes.
See, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. But wait, gets better.
Hold on. We're working. No. We'll get the name and address. 1 second.
No. Piss off, copper. We're working. You'll get it. And Avi made an edit here. Avi's quite rightly tried to keep the cameraman's name and address off the live broadcast, which, I don't have a go at him for in any way, shape or form, but should have been in that position. So the details are taken down, and James, or the cameraman rather, Benji, is suspected of committing an assault.
Look, all it took to get a tolerant lefty to lose his mind and turn violent was to ask questions. Who would have thought?
Except that isn't the truth. It's not the truth, Avi. What happened is you insulted him so many times, and I would have thought that if he is Jewish, that last insult in particular would have resulted in a damn side more than having your microphone, trying to take the microphone off you. You sook. James was answering questions when you asked them. I guess he got sick of your insults. Do you think that could have been the problem? Because you weren't asking him questions. You were insulting him directly to his face at that time. I guess this is how Jews work, is it? Show the love?
Hold on. You're saying you require his name and address. Why?
Because he's been involved in an assault.
And do you suspect him of committing a crime?
Possibly.
No. So do you suspect him? You suspect him of which crime?
He's been involved in an unlawful assault and requires name.
So you suspect that he's? I just want to make sure. So we got this on the record. He's given it to you. I'm just making sure that we're clear for after the fact.
Oh, yeah, making sure it's clear for after the fact. Well, what he's trying to do is set a narrative on his camera, right? He's trying to say, this is the truth, the camera filmed it. He gets a bit messed up here because his lie starts to break down, as you'll probably pick up, because it's a fairly obvious one-up from a microphone. But we'll see what he has to say here. Avi's excuses are brilliant, I've got to say.
Victoria Police have stepped in because the tolerant lefty turned extremely tolerant as soon as he couldn't handle any more questions. And
the tolerant lefty turned extremely tolerant. I don't know. English probably isn't his first language, Avi, is it?
Instead of police just taking down the guy that lunged at my microphone and camera, they're going for the cameraman. The poor Benji.
So did you hear that? The guy lunged for my microphone and camera. The guy was holding the camera. There was no lunge at the camera. There was no move toward the camera in any way, shape or form. He did go for the microphone. So what? But he didn't go for the camera.
He's being victimised by Victoria Police.
Oh, poor Benji's being victimised by the police. Oh, but wait, it gets a little bit better because, well, as you're about to see, they get told exactly why.
Mate, I'll explain why. As we were scuffling trying to get that sorted out, you were reaching over top whacking at him, right? That's the reason why. It's unlawful assault and potentially hinder police. That's why we're asking your name.
Well, but he...
Tell me the rest of the story if he wants to.
Well, it's on camera and you were there. Did you not see that he had my mic? That's hilarious. So they're trying to threaten Benji with unlawful assault for pushing the guy back who wouldn't let go of my camera.
Remember this bit.
How did it feel getting arrested that day?
Well, considering I got cleared, your guy got charged with assault and pled guilty, pretty good.
I didn't even know what he's talking about, but it was pretty funny.
Bloody hilarious, isn't it, Avi? Really funny when people get assaulted. Really funny. You're a sick man, Avi, but I think you're starting to show that now. Maybe the pressure's coming up on you, is it, mate? Your pressure to maintain the rage, your pressure to get out there and try and destabilise the Victorian community. You're doing it very well, I must add, but people are going to start seeing through your lies and your manipulation, particularly if others like me start picking your videos to pieces. And I haven't even gone halfway through your live yet. I got sick to the stomach after about 4 hours of watching this shit. I will have a look later tonight. I'll see whether or not there's much more I can cut out of it, because there's still another hour of this shit that you spew to follow. You're a rude little man. You should be charged with trespass after the first or second time that lady asked you to leave the salon and you refused. You're a fucking bully. You intimidated her. You and your cameraman blocked her doorway, tried to stop her getting out and or back in. You followed her around the store, and I haven't shown it. You harassed and you didn't intimidate. You harassed her clients to the point where, oh, well, you know, Avi likes to tell tales. So he told this lady who was sitting in the salon about what happened last Friday and how the Jewish man got refused service and kicked out. And it turns out this lady's mother was Jewish. So she's half Jewish and she respects the Jewish faith and all that. So yada, yada, yada. The difference is here, she's talking about Jews, not Zionists. Do you know the difference between Zion and Judaism? Do you know the difference between Zionism and Israelis? Well, as you can hear from the elderly gentleman who spoke earlier, there is no difference between Israelis and Zionism. No difference, the same thing. Avi points out that more than 80% of Jews are Zionists. And old mate James pushes back and says, you don't know that. We don't know that. And I would agree. There are plenty of good Jewish people that I know and have dealt with over the years who do not feel this way. I mean, the persecution of the Holocaust, which I'm still doing a lot of research on. And every time I look, the numbers get less and less and less, and the stories get stranger and stranger and stranger. You know, 1933, there were 500,000 Jews in Germany. And then they want us to believe that 2 or 3 million more moved there between then and 1938 when Hitler started shooting them all. Although Hitler didn't stay in Germany, he went outside, obviously. And as we found out the other night, the ones he hunted were a lot in Ukraine. Some of the worst Nazi atrocities were committed in Ukraine, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia, places where the Khazarian Jews like to hide. So, I don't know. I wasn't there. Or maybe I was in another life, but I wasn't there. What I do know is I had a father who lived in Germany during that time. He was a child growing into his teenage years. I had an uncle. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but hey, bring it on, all you Zionists. I had an uncle who was in a U-boat. It was depth charged by the HMS Hood, and the German Navy lost my Uncle Harry, not to the sea. He was one of 8 members of that German U-boat crew who got out alive and were picked up by the HMS Hood. He was taken to England for about 2 weeks and then sent to Canada, where he spent the rest of the war in a prisoner of war camp where he was fed well and didn't get beaten every day. Same can't be said of what happened in the concentration camps in Germany, I know. But it wasn't all Jews in those concentration camps. There were lots and lots and lots of Germans and Russians and Czechs and all sorts, Poles, all sorts of people who weren't Jewish. They just didn't like what was going on with Nazi Germany at the time. But now, all of that has been conflated again by Avi into, oh God, we are the worst kind of people. I tell you what, Australians are the best kind of people in this country, in this world, I beg your pardon. Australians are among the most forgiving. Australians are among the most generous. Australians are very much at the top of the list when it comes to being tolerant. What we don't tolerate is disrespect. And I'm afraid, Avi, you are disrespecting Australians. You are blatantly pushing your Zionist point of view, which is propaganda. To be a Zionist means you subscribe to the political Zionist theories and you promote the political Zionist ideas. That's what Zionism is. It's the political arm of the Zionist party in charge of Israel. And Zion is everywhere. The political side. There is no party. There is no, it's not a separate sort of form of Judaism. This is the political side This is the propaganda. This is the bullshit that feeds the people. And of course, I'm being hard. Israel's never done anything towards us, have they? Oh well, there was that time in 2024 where the mosque caught fire, and it turned out that Israel had paid some unemployed numpties in Melbourne to go and set it on fire. Mossad had done that. And in Sydney. And then there was that issue of the caravan full of explosives, which was actually, going to blow up a synagogue in Sydney, created all sorts of fear, created all sorts of urgency in the government to put up all sorts of bullshit protections for your Zionist ideas. All done by the Israeli government and Mossad. There's more. We can go back a few more years. Do you remember when Israel stole Australian passports and used them to commit assassinations in the Middle East? Do you remember that? That's not all that long ago. I do, Avi. What do you say about that? Is this the act of a good neighbour? Is this the act of a good country? Is this the act of a good Zionist? Israel. Oh, God, we've had it so bad. We've had it so bad. More Christians have died in the history of the world than any Zionist or Jew. Oh, we've had it so bad. Get off it. Move over. Move on. You are propagating the hatred. You are getting out and making it worse. And you know it, Avi. You're a smart man. You know it. So what does that make you? It makes you a Zionist, a propagandist. And the sooner the Australian public wakes up to your bullshit, the better our country will be. Now, Avi, you served in the IDF. Why don't you go back and have another go? I mean, I don't know. I hear stories that you were shooting children. I don't know if they're true or not. I haven't seen the vision, but apparently there is vision of you shooting. There is vision of you bragging about it. Now, okay, young men, guns, war. I can understand a certain amount of verbosity. But geez, you're on a high horse, mate. You're on a very high horse. And I think it's sickening. I think it's sickening. I'm not sure what we can do about you, Avi. I'm not sure we should do anything about you. I think we should ignore you. Because all you do is stir up hate. I would ask everybody who is watching this show to share this segment right now. If you see Avi and his camera crew anywhere near you, scream shame. Shame, shame, shame. Turn your back on them. And if Avi comes to you with his microphone in hand, for God's sake, don't try and take it off him. Oh, God, no, it'll be an attack on him. Don't do that. Turn your back on him. Do not utter a word. Just look him in the eye and say, shame. Because he feels no shame. No Zionist does. Guided by political doctrine and spewing shit. I'm going to go through the rest of your video, Avi. I'm not done with you, mate. Not by a fucking long way. I am disgusted. And some of the comments that came up in your video, wow. Gee, some of these Jewish people are really beautiful people, aren't they? Put her Salon all over the internet so sensible people don't go there. People, please make this viral. These despicable people need to be held accountable. So, shit. Lost my camera. Hang on, I'll be back. Yeah, so this whole bloody little thing here with pictures popping up, and see if I can swap to another one without it shitting itself. Okay, so here's just some of the comments. Great work, mate. Boycott this business today. I hope legal action is taken against her to teach her that hatred of the Israeli people will not be tolerated. But hatred of her will be, quite happily. Intimidation of her, quite happily. Intrusion on her freedom to operate a business any way she wants, sure. Got no problem trudging over her rights, do you, you Zionist pigs? I'm disgusted, Avi, just disgusted. And you blame us. You say we're the ones that do this shit. God, I'm the landlord. I've suffered racism all my life and I will not stand for it. I will not renew her lease. She's out. 2 months, she's gone. So it turns out the landlord was contacted. From what I understand, was contacted, pressured. Although, by the sounds of it, he was pretty happy to see the end of her and just needed a reason to do it. Although he's not kicking her out, he's just not renewing her lease. If I was her, I'd start up a mobile hair salon, go and do hair at home of the people who actually want you, the people who would probably congratulate you for standing up for your rights, for standing up as a woman against a man who is trying to bully and intimidate you inside your own business. In fact, 2 men, because the cameraman was there as well, blocking the doors, pushing her, all of the above. Simply bloody disgusting, Avi, and I'm not even halfway through your video. 1,500 a day. That's the latest numbers in our migrant explosion coming from this asshole and his merry band of wankers, commonly known as the Labor Party government. How does that translate? Well, that translates to extra votes. Of course it does, because don't think for 1 second these bastards that are coming in aren't being told the reason they're being allowed in, aren't being told the reason they're being given such huge legs up into our community. Well, the reason they're being told is they have to vote Labor. Labor are the ones who allowed this. Labor are the ones who got you here. Labor are the ones that are going to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a government that is not governing for the people of Australia. I think none of us elected them, so we shouldn't be too surprised about that. Less than 26% of the Australian population voted for that little weasel of a human being that runs the Labor Party and his cohort. Less than 26%. And now the changes they are wreaking upon this nation are so destructive, we dare not let them finish it. How do we do that? Well, I think there are ways, but tonight's not the time to talk about that. Very keen to hear your suggestions, but tonight's not the time to talk about it. Here's a bit of interesting news. The White House has just sent a letter to the Smithsonian notifying them that there will be a comprehensive internal review of their entire operation, including inspection of their collections. This is an interesting point. This comes the day after Trump just took federal control of Washington, D.C., took control of the Metropolitan Police for 30 days, and deployed the National Guard. The Smithsonian Museum's infamous for their tunnels. They have a large system that infiltrates Washington. They call it the National Mall because a lot of museums or articles for museums are stored in vaults under the National Mall. So I'm a bit like this bloke who wrote this. I'm going a bit tinfoil on it too. Trump just deployed the National Guard to DC. The next day he says he's going to search the Smithsonian tunnels. He's going to search everything. Now, I hope, beyond all hope, that that is exactly what's going on. Are you familiar with the Smithsonian logo? It's the Masonic sun. Just between you and me. Yeah. Little coincidence. Disgusting. Yes, there are tunnels under the Smithsonian. This is the publicly acknowledged version. They facilitate movement of staff, supplies, artifacts between facilities without disrupting public spaces. For example, the Arts and Industries building, called the Castle, and other nearby structures are linked by underground passageways that house utilities, heating, cooling, electrical systems, and stolen children. They do. Just how it is. Here's Penny Wong. God, don't you love this bitch? Since April, May, June, her expenses, which we pay for, don't forget that, April, May, June, Her expenses down the bottom there, $540,724. $540,724. And what did we get for our money? Are you struggling to think of it too? I am. I can't think of anything we got for that. She got trips all around the world, probably. Have to get $540,000, wouldn't she? Well, maybe not. The Labor Party and those thieves inside it are very good at stealing money, very good at fluffing their own bank balance. $540,000, nearly $541,000. Where is that okay? In 3 months, April, May, and June of this year. What has she achieved for that? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. And yet, we're paying for it. On top of everything else we're paying for, the 1,500 newbies a day arriving. Now, I'm not having to go at the immigrants. If they're being offered this, why the hell wouldn't they come? What they're not being told is they're coming to a country and predominantly being moved to places like Sydney and Melbourne where there are no jobs. All the big industry is gone. The car manufacturing is gone. The underpants manufacturing is gone. Remember Bonds? Or Bonds? Bondi's bloody singlets and all that? All gone. What was the thing? What was the stuff? Was it Bonds that had the echidna, the anteater ad? Sick'em Ralph? God, there's an old ad that worked well. There'll be many of you smiling at that ad. All gone. All made offshore now. There are no jobs. The unemployment rate in Melbourne and Sydney is through the roof. And yet we're importing these people in left, right, and centre saying, oh, yeah, go to Melbourne. Well, it's okay. You can go and become an Uber driver. Absolutely you can. But pretty soon nobody will be able to afford an Uber. They'll be too busy trying to pay their friggin' rent or their mortgage. Oh, so what happens then? Well, of course, the people who were driving Uber go on to the public tit, don't they? In fact, they'll be on the public tit from the moment they get off the plane. They might be able to get off it if they get a job. Maybe it'll be driving a truck. Some of them aren't real good truck drivers, as we've become aware in the last couple of days. So things to be aware of there. I'm still a bit worked up about this whole Avi thing, folks, and I'm very keen to get back and have a look at the rest of it, as much as the first half of it's made me sick to my stomach. I'll be interested to see what other bastardry and what other lies Avi had told during that live, because he doesn't seem to slow down. He's very keen. So before I wrap up, we might have a bit of a talk about Zelensky and Trump meeting, which sort of happened this morning, our time. He came with a pile of European leaders from France. Macron's always in, probably trying to stir up an argument for Trump to go and try and arrest Candace Owens for exposing his husband or wife that used to be a man and is a Rothschild. But anyway, he was there. Keir Starmer, who's bringing his children up in the Jewish faith because his wife's Jewish. Somebody from Poland, somebody from Italy. I don't think the German Chancellor went there. Probably too scared, given the shit they're in at the moment. But a whole bunch of European leaders all traipsed into the Oval Office after the meeting with Zelensky and put forward their points of view, I suppose. At least there was a meeting, because it looked like there wasn't going to be. The White House did inform the Ukrainian delegation that Zelensky must wear a suit or there will be no meeting. Congratulations to the White House for bringing back some formality to fuckwits. Zelensky turned up. Looking at that. He almost looked good. Although I think it's the same suit he was wearing, at least the top half, when he was playing the penis with his piano. I think it's the same suit. I might be wrong. Just saying. I don't know, folks. It's been a interesting day. An interesting day. I'm just having a bit of a glance through some of your comments. Mike Sims decided to be a prick to you yesterday. Hang on a second here. Daniel, what happened? Yeah, he knows me a little better now as I reminded him I'll see him again. All right. Well, good on you. Just look after yourself. Black sheep. It's us, the black sheep, that get the normies thinking. We are all black sheep, a ragtag bunch of misfits, but we get the job done. You are a marvellous man, black sheep. A truly marvellous man, and very, very wise. Menzies would be turning in his grave. Not completely sure, but yes, I think he probably would be very unhappy with the way things currently sit. But what do we do? Martina, wow. English in the Melbourne CBD is now a second language. That doesn't surprise me either. You know those CBD attacks that have happened? Cars running over people, that kind of thing. There is also a level of belief that the Mossad, the Israelis, were behind that as well, to incite and pressure the government into creating more anti-vilification laws against Zionists or Israelis, making sure that we can't say things like I've said tonight about Zionism. That's what they want. They want us silenced. They don't want us to be able to point out the lies. They don't want us to be able to point out the truth of the facts of the matter. Why? Because the truth is a bright, shining light and the darkness hides from it. We are the shining light. We're going to find you. The darkness will not hide you forever. And right now, the movement I feel that is growing isn't the freedom movement. It's a different movement. And I'm going to have a quiet and private conversation tonight with 107 about this. I've got an idea. Whether or not we're going to push the idea further, whether or not we get shouted down about it, I don't know. But the idea I've got, I'm going to talk with one about tonight. Privately, you won't see or hear that chat. But I will mention it tomorrow, should it all happen. Obviously, the time zones are a bit different. I think I've got another 4 or 5 hours to wait before one will be free. So it's going to be a late night for me. But there is something more coming, much bigger, and it's coming to the world, as it should be. God love you, folks. Be safe on the roads. Stay the hell away from those dickheads and avoid Avi Yemeni at all costs.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's rock!